Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Whatever Marcy left us, let's appraise it, sell it, split it, goodbye. Agreed?
There's a surprise for Joey and Michael.
Please let it be that she left us luggage.
A big responsibility.
Congratulations. It's a girl.
Taking on a whole new crazy world.
The father is biologically indeterminate.
Well, that's you.
They're My Two Dads, a premiere.
You're an artist. You're poor. You have to live here.
After Growing Pains on 9.
You giving Old Spice to Grandpa, Dad?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know he's gonna like it?
Because of how fresh it smells. He says it reminds him of the sea, but it reminds me of him. We were out fishing once. I got cold and he gave me a sweater. I'll always remember that nice smell of Old Spice it had.
So you like the smell, Dad?
Mm-hmm. I like the whole feeling of Old Spice.
So it's probably the kind of gift that Dad would really like to get.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Christmas miracle, an infant baby deserted in the desert and found on Christmas Eve.
It's surely a miracle that that little baby was saved.
Who left her there and why? It's an unsolved mystery. Then on Night Court, Bull takes a sleepwalk. Is he dreaming of a white Christmas?
This isn't a dream.
And My Two Dads sees the ghost of Christmas future.
Nicole, it's Christmas Eve. Get away!
Then on Quantum Leap, Sam's a hot rodder in the 60s.
Kick butt.
Wednesday.
This is me, Nicole Bradford. Cute, huh? This is my dad, and this is my dad. How'd I get two dads? They inherited me. Congratulations. It's a girl. Here's the judge who brought us together. She lives in our building.
My building. I own it.
She's gonna make sure we're one big happy family with one dad who's down to earth and one dad with his head in the clouds.
I think we're Father of the Year.
You can count on me. No matter what you do, you can count on me. No matter where you go, I'm standing by your side. I'll be right behind. No one loves you more than I do. Put your hand in mine. You can count on me. No matter what you do, you can count on me. No matter where you go, you can count on me.
Sitcom, all ye faithful, a Christmas podcast special, where for the fourth time I discuss 25 Christmas sitcom episodes. Please come and listen as we count down to Christmas. You should see Punky Brewster, the Partridges and Benson. Michael J. Fox will return, and for one more year the Fonz will definitely have one last episode with the Fonz.
You can count on me. No matter what you do, you can count on me. No matter
Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome back to another fun episode of Sitcom, Are Ye Faithful, where today I'm talking to you at my lunch break. Yes, I am taking a quick lunch break, even though I started work late today because I had a dentist appointment this morning. I might have mentioned that yesterday, but here's the good news. No cavities. Yes, I am as shocked as you are. So I'm celebrating with candy and soda. I figure I have 6 months to make up for it, but today I can go wild. Flossing, that's for nerds. Ho, 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 everyone. It is day 10 of Sitcom, All Ye Faithful, and today I'm very happy to talk about the show that I watched today because it was just a delightful, silly, fantastical holiday episode. In fact, it actually has the word holiday episode in the title. I'm talking about season 3, episode 12 of My Two Dads. I'm dreaming of a holiday episode. It first aired December 20th, 1989. I was in 8th grade, and I probably reached peak maturity right around then. I'm trying to think what I would have gotten in them for Christmas in 8th grade. I remember a couple years later, I was in college, I think, when I asked for a beeper. What a nerd. 8th grade. No, I already had maybe a bass. Did I get my bass guitar in 8th grade, or was that in high school? I don't remember. But let's look back. Let's go back to that day, that specific day, Wednesday, December 20th, 1989. And let's see what was on your television and my television that evening. ABC, they didn't care. It was almost Christmas time. They must have had their Christmas episodes already, because they just had a night of repeats. I'm talking from 8 to 10. A repeat of Growing Pains, starring that noted kook, Kirk Cameron, followed by Head of the Class, starring that noted kook, Dan Schneider, followed by Doogie Howser, MD. No kooks there, just, Neil Patrick Harris. And then Anything But Love. What the hell is Anything But Love? A sitcom. Oh my goodness gracious, starring Richard Lewis and Jamie Lee Curtis. I remember the show. The thought that Richard Lewis could get Jamie Lee Curtis is mind-boggling. Richard Lewis, rest in peace. We just lost him, I believe this year. Was it this year or last? It was right around the time of it was before the last season of Curb. But he was hilarious. So yeah, just nothing but repeats. And at 10 o'clock, a repeat of China Beach. ABC didn't care about you 5 days before Christmas, but CBS did. CBS had a brand new episode of Beauty and the Beast. You remember that? It was a show, Beauty and the Beast, starring Ron Perlman himself, Hellboy, and Linda Hamilton from the Terminator movies, and coming up on a new season of Stranger Things someday, followed by a repeat of Jake and the Fat Man. I don't think that show would relax. It's literally a dude from Riptide, Jake, and a fat guy who played the Fat Man. It was must have been his nickname. Hey, Fat Man. So that went from 9 to 10. It was just hour-long episodes. Then at 10 o'clock, a brand new episode of Wise Guys, starring Ken Wall. Ooh. Over on NBC, we had a brand new episode of Unsolved Mysteries. Ooh. Followed by a brand new episode of Night Court. And this episode I'm talking about today, I'm Dreaming of a Holiday episode, My Two Dads. Then at 10 p.m., a repeat of Quantum Leap. How exciting. On The Tonight Show, I don't see anyone. It doesn't have anyone listed on Letterman or The Tonight Show. It just shows different. There's a list on this page, and there's a link. If you click on the date in the show notes, or if you're on YouTube, there should be a link, or even on the website, there's a link on the date. It'll bring you right to this page that shows you all the TV listings. It just talks about different things that were on the air outside of prime time, but I'm really focused on the prime time 8 to 11 slots of our 3 networks. There's no Fox listing. This is 1989. I mean, we already had Fox. It's out there, but it's nothing listed. That could just be that this website doesn't have Fox for this day, but I feel like at some point I'm going to do a Fox show, and if we don't have the Fox listings, that's going to take some of the magic out of it. So here's the cool thing about this episode. It is available on Tubi, meaning you can watch it, you can stream it right now for free. So if you want to stream it and then come back, I'll wait. Imagine if I just sat here for 20 minutes, assuming that you do that all in real time. It's available on Tubi. Now, Tubi does have commercial breaks, but for me, I only had one commercial break. Not that bad. Way better than, now I love seeing transfers from people from VHS to YouTube, but way better quality on Tubi. I guess it's also available on the Roku channel, but I watched it and I will link to it from Tubi. Now, if you don't know, My Two Dads stars Paul Reiser and Greg Evigan. Basically an odd couple. But what would you do if you took the odd couple and threw a teenage girl in there, or I guess, preteen. I think she's 12 when she joins the family, and be like, hey guys, you used to be friends. Then you fought over a girl. Apparently, the girl didn't fight as much over you. She was kind of into both of you. It's similar around time, maybe here or there. We're not exactly sure, because 12 years later, you find out that she dies and she leaves custody of the girl to both of you because she doesn't know who the father is. Interesting. I feel like there was something very recent that I watched with that as well, like a TV show or a movie, and it's like we don't know who the oh, you know what? I think it might have been I watched the Elf, the play, with my niece. That where it's Susan, I forget her name. Susan Evans, was that her name? I forget. But anyways, quite similar, except that Nicole Bradford is just a girl, not an elf. So Paul Reiser and Greg Evigan star as the two dads. Again, one is kind of clean cut, proper. The other one's this artsy fartsy guy. Apparently they were friends, then they weren't friends, and now they have to come together and live together. A judge played by Florence Stanley allows them to both have custody of her, and she buys the house or owns the house that Joey owns, so they all move in there, I guess, something like that. I don't know. Stacey Keenan, I know from this, and I know from another show. That's all I'm going to say, because I fear I don't want to spoil what's to come later on this month. The show also stars Giovanni Ribisi, who he's probably went on to be the biggest star of this outside of Paul Reiser. Paul Reiser is probably the biggest star, then Giovanni Ribisi. And I didn't know back then he was known as Vonnie Ribisi. Playing Corey Kapkas. Amy Hathaway played Shelby, I guess her best friend. I don't remember her, but I do remember Giovanni and Chad Allen as Zach Nichols. Chad Allen, I think, was he at Our House with Wilford Brimley and Shannon Doherty? Then he had this, or maybe this was first. Then he went on to be with Medicine Woman there. What the hell? Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. He was on there forever. So I first knew him from either this or Our House. Then, he was much more known for Dr. Quinn. Now, this episode also features two guest stars, two married guest stars at the time. They play themselves. I'm talking about Casey and Gene Kasem. Yes, they play themselves as game show hosts inside a dream, because this episode is the classic kind of Christmas dream. It's not It's a Wonderful Life, really. It is kind of like, what would happen to our daughter if she follows your path or she follows my path? And it just so happens that both Paul Reiser, Michael, and Greg Evigan, Joey, have the exact same themed dream focusing on them. So Joey has this cool, he's very artsy fartsy, like he's an artist, and he put a Christmas tree up that's upside down, and it's got spray painted stuff on it and bright and all this stuff, and he's really into it. And Michael's like, this tree's crazy, what about a nice traditional Christmas tree? And Nicole's like, I like this tree, it's very nice. And they're basically saying, you don't want to live life stuffy like Michael. And Michael's saying, you don't want to live life, the road less traveled. You know why it's less traveled? Because it's a bad road. You don't want to do that. You want to go on and go to school and be smart and, become a doctor, get your degree. So then the friends come over and they're like, this tree's cool. And they're like, don't bother. Joey's sleeping right now for whatever. Or I forget how it happened. Maybe Joey took a nap. I don't know. Both of these guys seem to take a nap. I don't know if they sleep in the living room because they don't have much space, but Joey falls asleep first. He wakes up in 2029 because they talked about, don't worry, I'll be fine. Think about in 40 years from now and how much we'll look back on these, this fun time in this tree in 40 years from now. So they go 40 years from now. From that date is 2029, which is only 5 years from now. Now, here's the thing. I noticed they showed a calendar from 2029. So I looked up, because you can look up what the calendar will be in December 2029. It was incorrect. They were off by 1 day. So I don't know if they had the ability to quickly look that up. They obviously didn't do the math, or maybe they skipped a leap day, but they were off by 1 day. Doesn't matter. It shows the calendar at 2029 because Joey falls asleep, wakes up, and he's very old. And he's dressed exactly the same, but he's got long hair and he's all wrinkly and he's all gray. And he's like, looks like he's losing his hair, and he's moving slow. And Michael comes in and he looks just like an older version. He's playing like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm an older version." Like just an older curmudgeon-y guy. And he is great. They both live together still. And they're like, "Oh, don't worry, Nicole's going to be coming over later for Christmas." And the judge comes in. She's exactly the same age. They're like, "How come you didn't get older?" She goes, "I didn't feel like it." And he talks about, "I'm not a famous artist yet. Look at all this art. I should be famous now." And an art critic comes in the dream and says, "This is crap. This is even worse." And then Nicole comes in and she is a mime. She's a bad mime. And she's like, "Look at me. This is what I do now." She's a mime. And Joey's like, "No, no, this isn't what it should be. You should have gone to school. You should stay in school. Don't be a mime. No, no, no." Like she ruined her life. And he wakes up and he's like, "No, no, don't be a mime." She's like, "What? Oh, never mind, never mind. You know what? I think I'm going to get rid of this stinking tree." So he gets rid of the tree, puts the traditional tree up, and he's like, "I don't want, I'm done with this." So Michael comes home. He's like, "Oh, you got rid of the tree?" He's like, "Yep. You know what? There's no way to live like this. Nicole, shouldn't, she should just go to school. I'm a failed artist. I don't need to, I don't want to think about it." Or the friends come over too. They're like, "Hey, Dad, you put the regular tree up." He's like, "Yep, you know what? The other one's not worth it." And they say, "Well, don't, that's what happened." Then, like, "Well, too bad Michael's sleeping through it." Now, Michael, we go to his dream, and he is now, in this version, he doesn't look good. He's bald, and he's about to be on a game show where that's when we see Casey and Gene Kasem. And that's when they tell him that they're on a game show called Joey Was Right All Along. Joey's older now, but he looks really cool. And he told people, "Hey, live through life. This is the way you should do it. Do things that make you happy. That's what the key to life is." And they're all wearing pins of the tree upside down. In other words, Joey's upside down tree kind of becomes this iconic thing that people wear pins for it. I thought that was a nice little touch. And I like that they did not reference it. It just was there if you noticed it for the keen viewer. So Paul Reiser is on the show and he's like, "Well, what do you mean Joey's right? How can you prove it?" And then Chad Allen, Giovanni Ribisi, and Amy Hathaway's characters come out. And they're like, we were going to follow your path, but then we followed Joey's path and we're much happier. Zach is now a cowboy. Corey is now a Ghostbuster. And Shelby is now a professional organ donor, which didn't make any sense, but it was kind of funny. So then they're like, "Well, this is great. Did the same thing happen to Nicole?" "Oh, no, no, no." They go back and Nicole lives alone. She went to, I think she became a judge or something, but she lives alone with a cat. But the cat left a note that said, "I'm leaving. I want to have more adventure. You're boring." She's like, "Oh no, you can get through this. This is not the first time this has happened." And Michael's like, "Cats have left her in the past." It was funny because Nicole was good. She was good as the mime, and she was good as the old fuddy-duddy who lives alone. In fact, she gets a phone call for aluminum siding, and she's like, "Oh wait, what's your name? Are you single? Oh, you're recording. Well, wait, does that matter? Or what are you doing?" Like she's trying to talk to the recording, and Michael's like, "No, don't live this life. Follow your dreams. Do what you want." So he wakes up and he looks and he sees that the regular tree is up. He puts the upside down tree up. Joey comes back. He's like, "You put the down tree up?" He's like, "Yeah. You know what? I thought it was nice. It was a little fun. It's crazy, but it's garbage, or whatever it is. But you got to respect other people's garbage at Christmas time." So then they keep both trees up. Nicole comes down and goes, "Oh, you have both trees up. That's the greatest." And she goes and sits with both of them, and they open up gifts. And then the judge comes in with her boom box because I forgot they were exchanging gifts earlier. Before she came down, Michael gave Joey a tie and Joey gave Michael an earring. They always return their gifts because they really just get them for themselves. They said, "You know what? This time let's keep them, but the receipt's in the box if you want to." And earlier in the episode, the judge, they got her a boom box. She's like, "Oh, what a surprise." He goes, "It's exactly what you asked for." She goes, "I love surprises." She comes back later with the boom box saying she's having, great time listening to music. They all kind of sit around together as the episode comes to an end. That was it. There was one commercial break. There were a couple chuckles. The kids were funny. Stacey Keenan actually was quite funny. She is no longer an actress. She's gone on to be like a lawyer, I believe. She hasn't acted. Well, She was in something called Hollywood Darlings in 2017, one episode. Maybe that was a reality show playing Stacy. She was in Love and Laken, which she was with a co-host of another show. I'm not going to talk about it, where she played Stacy Keenan. And then before that, 2010. So she hasn't acted in quite some times. She had another TV show until 1998, did a couple things here and there, but not too much. She must have gone on to college at that point. And where is it? Does it say where she's up to now? She graduated from Southwestern Law School in 2013. Now works full-time as an attorney in Los Angeles under her married name. Yeah, under her married name. So very cool that she's gone on to be like a actual big time. I say big time, but she's an actual attorney. Well, that happens. Friggin' Chunk from the Goonies. He's an attorney. Multiple young actors, and I know some of them go on to become attorneys to help. Well, at least I feel like Jeff Cohen went on to be an attorney and then helped Ki Hai Kwan negotiate his contract for Everything Everywhere All at Once, didn't he? I believe so. I think he works as not an agent, but he's like an entertainment lawyer. I don't know what Stacy Keenan's law firm is, or law accoutrement. That's not even the right word. Focus. That's it. But I'm really glad that I watched this episode. I didn't really watch the show all that much. I remember watching a little bit as a kid. I remember Giovanna Ribisi was funny. I remember kind of having a crush on Stacy Keenan. I think I had more of a crush on her later on in life. And she's right at my age. It looks like she was born in 1975. So she is a little older than me, a little younger than my wife. So really right in that perfect age for me. But for some reason, this is junior high years where you're a little girl crazy. And for some reason, I didn't watch this show then. Maybe, again, DVR stuff. This show was on at 9:30. No, wait a minute. No, it wasn't. Yeah, 9:30. I mean, I'm in 8th grade. I'm probably awake at this point, but maybe not. Maybe I'd stay up just for night court. And I'm like, I don't know if I can push it for my two dads. And yet it's mostly focusing on kids. You think it would be an 8:30 show, an 8 o'clock show. And I don't know if it bounced around over the years, but this is was it the final season? Was it only 3 seasons? I did read that they never announced who the dad was. So I guess at one point there was a falling out. Then they had a paternity test, and Stacy Keenan ruined the DNA test because she didn't want to read it. She never, she destroyed it before ever for any of them ever finding out. But I guess the judge read it, but never told anyone. But then the series ends where Greg Evigan moves to California to be with his someone he falls in love with, marries, who has a daughter of her own. And then Stacy Keenan wrote a letter saying, I want to come and visit you. Some of the greatest experiences, I will ever have is because of you guys, both of you being my two dads, or something like that. I read the Wikipedia entry and I teared up just reading the Wikipedia entry of how the series ended. How beautiful is that? So again, it's on Tubi. Watch it. Is it a show where I would watch every episode? No, but I'm glad I watched. Well, maybe, I don't know. But I say that for every show and I never go back. But I'm glad that it was available. I'm glad that it was a good quality version. I'm glad that I watched it. I'm glad I've had it on the list. I think I put it on the list last year, but I just put the show. I didn't even know what episode I'd be doing. I found this one perfect. Fun. This is the first kind of dream fantasy, like a little, it wasn't magic because it was just dreams. There was nothing magical. And I guess, wait a minute, was he magical in Home Improvement? Well, was there something magical in Scrubs? There might have been something magical in one of these episodes. No, Home Improvement is just magical that Tim Taylor didn't electrocute himself. But this was it was not quite It's a Wonderful Life, but it was in the same vein. Like she can't see you. She can't see what you're watching. And it was fun. And I'm glad that I finally watched it. Now, that's it. I'm done. You can find me on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Mastodon.social at Geek Mentality, on TikTok at Geek Mentality Mike, on Facebook, it's Fans Not Experts, on YouTube, it's Fans Not Experts, and that's because the website is fansnotexperts.com. That's it. Tuesday's done. Tuesday's in the book. Tuesday's gone with the wind. Tomorrow, I have a very special guest to Geek Mentality. He's been on Marty McFly. He's been on Sitcom, All Ye Faithful. He's been on Marty McFly again. And he's been on Sitcom, All Ye Faithful. And he'll be back again tomorrow night. And until then, that's it. I'm not giving you any spoilers. But until tomorrow, because I'm going to be recording with him in the evening, so that tomorrow's episode is going to get out a little later, but that's all right. As long as it gets out, I still have completed the mission. So that's it. Okay. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow, my friends. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And here is my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. 'Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fast, not experts.